Finnian resonate echo. The tremor wasn't subtle. It wasn't the rhythmic pulse of the city's energy conduits, or the distant rumble of the mining guilds. This was wrong. A fractured resonance, a scream in the stone. Old man Tiber, the city's listener, the one who could feel the city breathing, hadn't even had time to raise the alarm before the support pillars in the grand repository began to weep dust. I, Finnian echo, resonate, they call me, felt it first in my teeth, then in the aching of my hands. A keystone had shifted, deep within the Undercity, threatening to unravel a century of resonant architecture. And it wasn't natural. Someone had broken the song of the stone. The initial scans were impossible. A null-frequency pulse, focused with terrifying precision, had targeted the keystone. It wasn't brute force. It was a surgical strike against the city's harmonic structure. Old man Tiber, pale as chalk dust, whispered about the Silent Hand, a mythical saboteur from the First Guild Wars. He claimed they wielded technology that could erase resonance, turning stone brittle. He dismissed it as folklore, until now. My father, Elias Echo, was the city's master builder before me, and he'd warned me about such a weapon. He'd dedicated his life to reinforcing the city against it. He died when I was 12, a structural collapse they called it, but I always suspected something more. I vowed then to finish his work, to understand what he feared. The deeper we delved into the Undercity, following the fractured resonance, the more disturbing the evidence became. It wasn't just the keystone. Other resonant anchors, nodes vital to the city's stability, had been tampered with. Each disruption was subtle, carefully masked, but undeniably there. We found traces of a rare, or void stone, used to dampen resonance, incredibly expensive, incredibly difficult to acquire. It pointed to a powerful organization, one with access to resources most guilds only dreamed of. And then we found a symbol, a stylized, broken tuning fork, etched into the void stone casing. The symbol of the dissonance, a splinter group banished from the Builders Guild generations ago, believed to crave chaos and the collapse of resonant structures. The dissonants weren't just aiming to destabilize the city. They were trying to rewrite its resonant signature. We discovered a hidden chamber, filled with complex sonic emitters, designed to introduce a discordant frequency into the city's core. This wasn't about destruction. It was about control. If they could alter the city's resonance, they could manipulate its energy flow, its defenses, even its inhabitants' thoughts. Tiber recognized the emitter's design. It was based on forbidden research from the First Guild Wars, a project his own grandfather had helped to bury. He confessed that the Silent Hand wasn't a myth, but a legacy, a lineage of sonic saboteurs dedicated to dismantling resonant architecture. A fragmented memory surfaced, a whispered conversation between my father and Tiber, years before his death. They spoke of a failsafe, a hidden resonant key that could counteract any attempt to alter the city's signature. A key my father had entrusted to my mother. But she disappeared shortly after his death, labeled a deserter, accused of collaborating with the dissonants. I always believed the accusations were false, but the evidence was overwhelming. Now, I had to confront the possibility that my own mother was involved, and that the failsafe wasn't a rescue, but a trap. I remembered a small, intricately carved tuning fork she always wore, a family heirloom. It wasn't just ornamental, it was the key. We found the dissonant leader, a gaunt man named Silas, overseeing the final stages of the resonant rewrite. He revealed that my mother hadn't been a collaborator, but a double agent, tasked with infiltrating the dissonants to uncover their plans. But she was discovered, and Silas used her knowledge to perfect his rewrite. He intended to unleash a cascade of dissonance, collapsing the city from within. I confronted him, activating the tuning fork, the failsafe, which amplified my own resonant abilities, creating a counter-frequency that clashed with his rewrite. The chamber erupted in a chaotic symphony of sound, a battle of resonant forces. It was a dangerous gamble, pushing my abilities to their absolute limit, but I had to hold the line. The rewrite was neutralized, the city's resonant signature restored, though weakened. Silas and his followers were apprehended, their plans thwarted. The damage was significant, requiring months of repair, but the city would endure. My mother's name was cleared, her sacrifice finally acknowledged. The experience changed me. I realized that resonance wasn't just about building structures. It was about maintaining harmony, about protecting the delicate balance of the city. I vowed to continue my father's work, not just as a builder, but as a guardian of the Song of the Stone, a resonator for the age of guilds and shadows. The city breathed again, and I, Finnian Echo, felt its rhythm within my own bones.